All right, everybody, it is Steve with Real Progressives. It's pretty late tonight, you know? I sat there and thought to myself, why not just go to sleep? The opportunity to talk about this thing that's going on already. My God, what is it, like April 30th, 2019? The, the Vote Blue sycophants are out in droves, already starting with, hey, you know what? I'm going to support the Democratic nominee no matter what, but until then, I'm going to fight like mad for Bernie. And that sounds like a really noble thing until you start thinking about what is really inside that statement. You start thinking about what really goes on inside that statement. And you start realizing how utterly fucking privileged that is and how ridiculous that is. Now, for those of you who don't keep track, let me help you out. Bernie Sanders is advancing a Green New Deal. He's advancing a job guarantee. He's advancing Medicare for all. He's advancing free college. He's advancing student debt relief. He's advancing paid family and medical leave and a host of other things. Okay? He is advancing even an exploratory committee on reparations. He has taken steps to take every key issue that matters to us and has put it out there. And he has been fighting tooth and nail against the war in Yemen. So for the morons that talk shit about him not standing up against war, fuck yourselves. Pretty hard too, by the way. Just right up in there. Fuck off. But the thing is that the Vote Blues, they've decided that right now's the time that they're going to start trying to get everybody to start softening up and selling out and not fighting for those things. They've already started laying the get, you know, the come take me, I'm yours routine, right? The cheap date, the easy one, the first one out the door at the bar. They are already saying, I won't put up any resistance. Whatever you throw up there, I'm voting for. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican. It doesn't matter if you suddenly select Donald Trump. I'm going to vote blue no matter who, no matter what, come hell or high water. That is what these sons of bitches are doing already. Now, I got to tell you, put this into practice in your own regular life for a minute. You go to a real estate agent. You see a house is overpriced by about, $100,000. And you go up to the real estate agent and you say, you know what, I'm going to fight like hell to get the best price I can, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I'm going to buy this house. So, whatever, you may as well get ready. I'll pay $110,000 more than it's worth because at the end of the day, I'm buying this house no matter what. That's the stupidity of someone going out there trying to grease the skids, trying to prevent the fight, trying to prevent us from exposing corporate Democrats, from exposing neoliberals, from exposing the real friggin' bad guys, okay? The third way Dixiecrat corporatist bullshit, freaking Republicans in cheap clothing. I used to think as a Republican, I used to watch the Democrats, and I used to say, you know what? I wouldn't mind being a Democrat if Democrats actually did what Democrats said they were going to do. But Democrats never do what they say they're going to do. They always put these things out there. They always get your eyes glazed over thinking they're going to do good for you. And then what do? They start backtracking. They start telling you how impossible it all is and how we've got to eat our peas. Remember Obama? Hope and change? Well, here's the problem. There's nowhere else to go, unfortunately. Sorry, Green Party. Let's be fair. You don't have a prayer in hell on the national stage. Anybody that I talk to knows it inherently. Literally. I've never talked to a single Green that says, yes, we can win. Not one. At best, you're trying to get 5% somewhere. So this really comes down to who's going to run the country. And if you don't believe the country can be run by elections, why even try running yourself? Okay? Why even try running yourself? The fact is that we're stuck in this first past the post system right now. Now, it'd be great if we could get a whole bunch of infiltrators that want to go ahead and get elected and that could overturn that so we could have a more pluralistic society, more pluralistic election system. But instead what we've got is this freaking bastardized, horrible system that allows people to tell you right up front, a year out, hey, don't worry. You could put a piece of moldy bread up there, and if it's blue, I'm voting for it. I'm just going to vote blue no matter who. The one person in particular, I'm not going to mention him by name, but he put a post out there, and there was like some 267, last check I had, people that had liked this post. There was one guy who was a former Bernie delegate who, when TYT had interviewed him during the walkout, when all the true burners walked out, he stayed seated. And he was like, I don't know why I lost my credentials. You know what? I followed all the rules and I did everything just by the book. I was like, dude, oh my God, I'm so glad you're not part of my union. If you're part of my union, I'm sure you'd cross the line. You'd be a scab. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that right there, the vote blue sycophant. It doesn't matter if they put a moldy piece of bread up there. They're going to vote for it if it's blue. And I'm telling you right now, they're already trying to make you not fight. And there's people out there saying, don't criticize Democrats, period. You're only helping elect Trump. Well, Biden's already telling you flat out he's not going for health care the way Bernie is. Every one of them has some bastardized way they're looking at health care. All the way down to no bueno. Who doesn't think he's a progressive at all and really isn't all that big a deal about Medicare? Every last one of these shitbirds, these centrist shitbirds, every single one of them is sitting there trying to tell you how we can't afford things. We can't afford them. We're not going to do them. Well, let me tell you about my little way. And I want to tell you something. This is really, really driving me nuts because the idiocy that is amongst us, just in our midst, needs to be exposed and taught or friggin' fought, quite frankly. And I want to tell you, what happens is this. When the Republicans are in office, they're evil, and they're always evil. They never lie to you because they're always just going to be straight up evil. But when the Democrats get in there, and we haven't seen a progressive in there, so let's be fair. When these third way centrist neoliberal people get elected and they take office, what they do is they set up very, very small, minuscule benefits packages to sell and say, see, we did this great thing. But what they've done, and it's a miracle that we're fighting for Medicare for all right now at all. But what they do is they take the fight out of the fight. They throw you some bones, and then all of a sudden they distract you and send you over here to start fighting for something else. We'll let everybody that makes under, I don't know, $50,000 or $100,000 get this taken care of. But if you make $101,000, well, you're flat out not getting anything, right? Never mind the fact that the guy at $101,000 has 7 kids or something like that, and can't afford to live. But the point is that they do this because their allegiance is to the banking community. Their allegiance is to the financial sector. Their allegiance is to their donors. And their donors do not want us taken care of. Because if they take care of us, there's no money in it for them. Not least the kind of money they could make, as long as we're scraping the barrel to do it. Desperate to take whatever they'll give us. So Democrats do this balkanization strategy where they just give it to some people and then they act like it's a big deal that they gave it to just a small amount of people. And they act like they just moved heaven and earth to do it. The vote blue no matter whose are the ones that are going to give us that bullshit. Half measures ain't going to get the climate taken care of. Half measures aren't going to get health care taken care of. Half measures are not going to get education and that huge debt bubble taken care of. It's just not. So when somebody comes out and says they're just going to vote blue no matter who, I really wonder if they have a brain. I really wonder if they have a pulse. I wonder if they understand that saying that right up front is akin to going up to some wife batterer and saying, I think you look sexy, dude, and I don't care whether you hit somebody ever again or not. Take me, I'm yours. That's what they're doing. And that's what they're forcing on everyone else, by the way. They're putting their hand over your mouth and saying, take it like a man. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not down for that. It has nothing to do with third parties. I want to make sure you're perfectly clear here. I'm not talking third parties. I'm not talking 12th parties. I'm talking straight up. They're already yielding to whoever the Democrats hand select, they're going to support. So their allegiance isn't to issues. Their allegiance isn't to humanity. Their allegiance isn't to fixing the climate. Their allegiance isn't to trying to get health care for everyone. Their allegiance has nothing to do with any of that. Their allegiance is to a party. They are a part of a party, a cult, a real, genuine cult. I mean, what kind of cult would believe all the Russia bullshit that went on? I mean, think about it. They sounded off like it was just insane. And they repeated it with conviction over and over again. No, a progressive Democrat, I'll support one of them. Why is that? Because they're progressive. And they're fighting for real shit. But when you tell me that you're going to vote blue no matter who, you just handed in your progressive card. You're not a progressive. You're not a progressive. Don't even fake like you are. Don't even fake like you are. Because you're not. And I think that it's important that we distinguish between what a vote blue sycophant is and what a real progressive is. Because if you haven't figured out by now that none of this stuff is happening without a fight, meaning, yes, you have to actually put down the assholes. Yes, you have to actually fight back. Yes, you actually have to sometimes make enemies. Yes, you might not live to see another day because you have to fight for now. Yeah, I know it sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, I know you might not get to kiss the ring in the Democratic Party because you went ahead and went against their proud, whoever their chosen disciple is. But what happens to the rest of humanity that has to survive your decision to shit all over the place? To have a shit, to just spew yourself all over the place before the elections even start, before the debates have even started, before any kind of real campaigning has even started. I mean, think about how ridiculous and disgusting that is. Gutless and spineless. Disgusting. I mean, at some point in time, you got to realize that if you really talk about revolution, if you really talk about war, if you really talk about fighting for a better tomorrow, these words fight for, revolution, stuff like that, they don't involve saying before the fight's even begun, hey, with all due respect, dude, I kind of dig you and your mom jeans and your muffin top and your dad jeans and your bunions, and I'm going to take you whether or not, no matter what. I'm just digging you. And ultimately, I mean, it's like selling out before you've even figured out what you can do. I just can't fathom it. Does it disgust? I mean, seriously, does it not disgust you when you see people say vote blue no matter who? Have you ever felt that level of disgust that makes you see them as just something different? Like they're not even human almost when they do that. It's like, what are you? Are you a robot? Are you the automation we've been hearing about? I mean, what the hell? I mean, I just do not get it. Folks, we have not had a single debate yet, and you've already swung to vote blue no matter who. You're already laying the stage for your capitulation. There's no fight in you. Where am I following you to? A fire pit? The tar pits? What are we going to do? Sit on a mountainside waiting for the asteroid to hit? What the hell, man? I just don't get it. I'm serious. I don't get it. And, I think what makes me grossed out the most is the people that do this day in and day out. They fake progressive. They tell you that they're progressive. They give you all their progressive credentials. And then they turn around and they say, well, whatever it takes to get rid of Trump. Now, I want to ask you a question. Be honest about it. Think about what I'm saying. Have you ever seen Democrats rally like they've rallied to resist the Russian influence? No, you haven't. They stuck together like stink on shit, but they didn't get anything accomplished. But damn it, they talked nonstop about Russia. Nonstop, these flabbermouths talked about Russia. They didn't talk about a Green New Deal. Hell, most of those idiots still think the goddamn taxes are paying for shit, so they don't want their taxes to go up. I mean, I'm not joking, folks. Your vote blue sycophants are more concerned with just beating Trump than actually electing somebody that can do some good for the country. They don't realize that the position of strength doesn't come from having a milquetoast, quote-unquote, vote blue in the office, who we can no longer have any shot of uniting behind, because these fuckers are going to sit there and defend them, no matter how lame they are, no matter how limp they are, no matter how flaccid and useless they are. They're going to defend them. But here's Donald Trump in there, and damn it, if they aren't up on their back heels, resist! Resist! I mean, they're just flat out revolutionaries, man. They're like wiping their brow from all the sweat from fighting against the Russian influence. They're like striking a flex, like, Rah! I mean, they are so self-congratulatory, about their Trump fight, that they don't realize they're losing the primary fight. The real fight. The fight where we win. That fight where we get health care. That fight where our kids get rid of student debt. That fight where the environment suddenly is okay, or habitable, as they say. I mean, at some point in time, we got to call a spade, don't we? They're fucking sellouts. They're not even sellouts. They don't even know who they are. It's like they're nothing. It's like they're not even human or something. I mean, just seriously, it's like they're a blow-up doll. I mean, what do you do? I mean, what do you do? I mean, seriously. They just lay there and take it like a blow-up doll. I mean, we got to get to a point where we realize Joe Biden was the architect of just about every bad thing there was. Kamala Harris was busy jailing any black person she could. These people were literally confiscating property. I mean, they were, God, horrible things. horrible things. And yet, how are we supposed to win anything ever? I mean, seriously, I want you to understand my frustration. I tried to run with the Greens during the last time, and they kept doubling down on, it's like they're perpetual activists. They're never going to try to govern. They don't want to govern. I don't know why. They're too busy telling you that we're a decentralized party one minute. The next minute they're telling you, no, we're eco-socialists. We're all eco-socialists. And then it's like, well, Howard Schweitzer runs your monetary reform board. Does that mean you're all supporting monetary reform? No, we're a decentralized party. Well, hold on. Are you a decentralized party? Are you eco-socialist? Or are you monetary reform? What the fuck are you? I'm trying, dude. Hook a brother up. You're not giving me any reason to green enter. And then you look at the blues and you say, oh my God, what would I be joining if I came over here? What is this? You guys are telling me I've just got to vote for whatever tin can they throw up there? Fuck that. You look over at the Republicans, and I'm going to tell you something about the Republicans. The quickest bit of fertilizer that creates Republicans is Democrats, who claim democratic principles with their mouth, but deny it with their lifestyle. Vote blue no matter who. These guys over here on the right, they may be fucked in the head, but they know a vote blue sycophant when they see one too. So that kind of leaves me out in the woods, doesn't it? You know, I want to vote for Bernie. I'm going to vote for Bernie. So what is that? I got one choice and one choice only. That's to be a damn Democrat. I can't vote for Bernie in the primaries as a Green or as any other pop-up third party. And I'm not going to trade shit for shit. I just want to be independent. I just want to be able to choose with my brain. I just want to use smart thinking. I don't want to have to go along to get along. And I'm going to tell you, my son, I talk about this a lot, but just so you can understand how this vote blue no matter who thing rubs me completely the wrong way. My son requires what is known as a TSS. A TSS is a person that basically tracks on them in their schooling or their daycare or wherever and ensures that if they're having problems transitioning between activities, being able to learn how to integrate, doing all kinds of stuff, they're there to assist them. My son has been on a waiting list for this service for over a year now. Now, I don't know about you all, but when you find out a child is autistic early on, you have a chance of making some significant strides in breaking through their integration and getting past some of their sensory issues if you attack it early. But unfortunately, there's not enough funding for him to get the TSS because there's not enough available TSSs in the area for him to get the service. Now, if I just vote blue no matter who, you think he's going to get what he needs? He's not going to get it regardless, but at least the people will fight. The problem is that they're not fighting for the right things. And folks, if there's anything you all should have learned over the last couple years, there is absolutely no substitute for the right things. No substitute whatsoever. And without us fighting to the end, putting everything we've got into it, pushing as far and as hard as we can assure we are not getting anything. The same measure you put in is the same measure you'll get out. And I would tell you something else too that makes me really grossed out, and I want you to think about this. Every time the Democrats don't do what they're supposed to do, some Democrat tries to tell you it's on us. We didn't do enough. We didn't work hard enough. Somehow or another, we missed the mark. It's our fault that we didn't make the Democrats do the right thing. It's not the Democrats' fault they didn't do the right thing. It's our fault that the Democrats didn't do the right thing. And to the extent that Vote Blue sycophants keep pushing any tin can they can up there, well, maybe they got a point. Maybe it is our fault for voting for these fuckers. Maybe it is our fault. Maybe we should have held out for better. Maybe we should have fought a little harder. Maybe we should have demanded more. I want you to think about that for a minute as we go into this election cycle. Because when I see people congratulating each other, yeah, it's well said. I've just got to remember that. I'm always going to support the Democratic candidate, no matter what. Vote blue, no matter who. But in the meantime, I'm going to support Bernie, kind of. Vote for Summer. Fist in the air. Yeah. Anyway. I just felt like I needed to come online and talk about this for a minute. You guys, you think about it. You put your thinking cap on and think about it. And you tell me who's doing more damage to the progressive movement. Republicans or Vote Blue sycophants that are already selling out before the fight has even begun. It shouldn't be a difficult thing to decide right there. You shouldn't have to think hard at all who's doing the damage. And I hate to say this, Republicans can't do any damage to us. It's the Vote Blues who are already trying to make us accept a corporate candidate while faking to be supporting Bernie Sanders. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Folks, you can kiss it. I ain't doing it. I ain't going to say Bernie or bust, but let me just say it this way. Progressive or bust. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Have a good fucking night.